James. I work at MikroTik, and I will be presenting about LTE and its configuration. Here you can see the topics that will be covered in this presentation. And let's go. So what are the differences between LTE modems? Most of you already heard what is maybe a LTE modem, but there are some few theoretical differences between them. So let's discuss each of that. So first we have the modem types. There could be two types of modem. First is external USB modem, like you have on the picture. And second is mini PCI Express kind of modem, just like we have our card here. So what are the advantages and disadvantages of each of that modem? So let's start with the USB modem. So this advantage of the USB modem is that it's very small and very portable. So you can put it in your pocket and carry with you very easily. And also it works with any device that has a USB port, like a laptop or regular PC. And also the cost usually is lower, or sometimes even by the cellular provider it's subsidized by maybe your AT&T or T-Mobile. You can get it maybe even free sometimes if you have a subscription. But there are some disadvantages for that. For example, sometimes it requires a lot of power, so you need to have external USB power supply. And also another thing is that sometimes you will not get so good coverage with that because it has low gain built-in antennas inside. And usually, since that modem is very small and portable, there is no place to put an external antenna to it to get better gain. And since it's very portable and the USB port itself takes a lot of space, it is not so easy to hide it in some board, and it usually sticks out of something and could make it hard to integrate in some device. And if you look about the mini PCI Express modem, the advantage is that it is great for integrated solutions, as you can hide it and make a solution so that nobody can see that there's a modem inside. And also the best thing about it, you can attach an external antenna to it, so you can get better signal coverage from your tower. And usually those modems has a better driver support because those are more designed for industrial use. But of course there are some disadvantages for that. It requires a board that has a USB mini PCI Express modem support. And since it's more like for industrial use, it is also higher cost usually, but not always. Also, let's talk a little bit more about software part of that modems. So we have two kind of modem interfaces. We have PPP mode and we have Ethernet emulation. So the main differences are the following. So for PPP mode, you will get a wide list of modems supported, mostly usually external USB modems. For some also the mini PCI Express ones. But the main disadvantage of this emulation is that the speed limit is approximately up to 25 megabits per second. So if you have a LTE connections that can go up to 100 megabits, but the modem supports only PPP limitation, it will have only 25 megabits from those 100 megabits. And the best option is Ethernet emulation, which doesn't have such a limitation. So it means if you have 100 megabits LTE connection, you can get up to 100 megabit on that modem. But there's usually a specific driver required for each of this modem. It's not so generic. It means there's currently in the RotorOS there isn't so many modems supported. There are some, but we are slowly adding more. So a little bit about PPP configuration for the software part. So maybe some of you already know that, but some of them LTE and all the 3G configuration part is something new. So if you have a modem with PPP emulation, so here's what you will get. You will get a USB port located under the port section, And you will get automatically created a PPP client interface under interface PPP. Also, for that interface, you will see there's option to configure the data and info channel. And data info channel are used for two things. Data channel is used when you for transmit data from your tower. An info channel is used for getting information, diagnostic information from the state of the modem or the connection. But since some modems doesn't have so great drivers, they will have only one channel available at the same time. So you can either use it for the data or only for the info. So it means you cannot do both at the same time. Also, by default, the dial-on-demand setting is enabled. It's from the modem times, the modem connection will only be established when you start doing some ping, for example, to Google or to open a web page. If you will not open any web page, if you will do not make any traffic, the connection will not be established. So I'm comparing to the LTE interface emulation. So all the drivers that are all the modems that are supported in the LTE interface are located on the interface LTE section. And for configuration, there are two options how you can configure. And it's all dependent on the modem interface. So there are web interface and direct configuration. So web interface usually are common for the USB modems like Huawei modem. When you attach this modem, you see an LTE interface appearing in the router OS, but you see that if you change the PIN or APN setting, nothing changes. So what you need to do, you need to add DHCP client on that interface. You'll get an IP address from that interface, and you need to open that IP address in the web browser and there you will see the web configuration of that modem. So that's one disadvantage. For more industrial ones, all this configuration done directly is on the router OS LTE interface. Also, there's options to change the network and band mode. So network mode allows you to disable or enable some specific modes. For example, if you want to use only 3G or only LTE, for example, if you have poor LTE coverage but you have great 3G coverage, and so you would want to only use 3G connection if you don't want to use LTE as it's not so reliable there. So you can, using this network mode option, you can set that option. Or, for example, if you have all networks are supported, but you don't want to like roam to the 2G network, you only want like 3G and LTE, so you can also use the setting to do that. But also there's a note that not all of the modems support the setting, so you will get an error message sometimes if this setting is not supported on the modem. And we have a band setting for few modems. You can also change the band, LTE band. So it means if you have multiple LTE bands available in your LTE tower, and you know that one LTE band is very congested, not very good throughput, you can like manually uncheck it or disable it, and it will not connect to that. But those are only LTE bands. So a little bit more about IP address from the LTE interface. So the most of the modems are used by DHCP clients. The IP address is configured on the LTE interface by a DHCP client. But on like our board, like SXT LTE, we have the IP address are added directly on the LTE interface without DHCP client, as the IP address acquisition is integrated into the driver. And also for SXT LTE and also for our new LTE products, we will have a IP version 6 support for LTE. So if your carrier provides you with IP version 6, you will be able to get that address as well. Also, starting from version 6.40, we have removed the user command option from the info and replaced with the AT chat command. We did that to make it more user-friendly for the scripting. So now when you do the AT chat command, you can use as output or better in the scripting. So here's an example to getting an email number. So using such command, it will get only clean output only from this command. You will not get the other command output from the user command. Also, LTE modems have a SMS function, just like regular phones. So for LTE modems, you can also do SMS function. So SMS function can be used for receiving and sending SMS messages. Maybe it's not for like chatting to your friends, but it's more for like doing some configuration changes or getting some status from the router. So you can trigger some script that checks your internet status or some other thing, and then send you a message to your phone telling that the interface is down, or like somebody is like hacking into your router, or anything. And from another way, you can also enable receiving SMS messages. For example, you can send from your phone to your router an SMS message with some specific secret and some name that will, when the router will receive that message, it can execute a script, for example. For example, enable backup connection or some other stuff. But there's a limitation for the LTE interface. This only works when the LTE interface is running on connected state, so it needs to be connected to the tower to do that. And a second limitation is that the SMS tool supports only GSM7 encoding, so no emoji support for you. Also, GPS support on LTE modems. Few LTE modems have a GPS connector, and sometimes you're wondering, I want to also get the GPS coordinates from that. So it is possible on a few of the modems that we have added support for. And since the LTE interface usually is recognized as LTE interface, not as PPP, so if the modem supports GPS, it means you will get an LTE interface and additional USB interface port. So that USB port you can use in the system GPS menu, where you can configure the options to use for the GPS. But since it's some LTE modems require some additional initial strings to enable that, we have a special command called init_string in the system GPS menu, where you specify some specific AT command that enables GPS tool. That string could be different because each modem manufacturer has some different init strings, so you need to look at the documentations. Also on our LTAP mini board that we'll have here, the GPS is not integrated, not on the modem interface, but integrated in the board, so it can work independent from the modem. Also, here's a slide about router boards that support the modem. So all the router boards with mini PCI slots support modem, except router board 800 that doesn't have USB pins connected to the slot. And also all the router boards with USB port can work with the USB modems, except the boards that are used for the boards where the USB port are used for the powering, like Hub Lite or Hub Mini. Also, we have a special USB feature called USB power reset. In case of the USB modem is locked up or not responding, you can do USB power reset. It will turn off the power of the USB, and you can do that command to recover your state of the modem. So it's like if you have that modem sitting somewhere remote location, executing this command will result almost the same like you are unplugging and plugging back the device. Also, to see which modems which boards support the feature, you can see in this wiki page. So let's talk about our hardware. We have WAP LTE kit. I hope everyone that visited our registration stand saw that board. So here it is in the desktop mount. So what's actually inside this board? So there's a WAP board inside with a case. There's a mini PCI LTE modem in the slot. There's a 2 built-in LTE antennas. And of course, there's a table stand. So let's talk more detailed about it. So we have WAP our board. It looks like looks like from the inside. We have Wi-Fi antennas. We have a slot for LTE modem and the Ethernet connector. So what are the features? So the main features is that it has 2-chain wireless built-in and also built-in antennas. And it has a mini PCIe slot for the LTE modem. And also it has a slot for SIM card, as you need to have a SIM card to get the LTE modem working. And it has 2 built-in integrated antennas. I will show you how it look like. So as you can see, there are 2 on the side, 2 green antennas built into the board. So you don't need any additional antenna for the LTE. Also, there are multiple powering options. It has a regular jack power connection. You can power it also with PoE, and it has also 4-pin automotive connector, so you can power it from your car. And of course, it supports passive PoE. It doesn't support active PoE. Also, it can be worked in higher operating temperatures, so you can put it almost anywhere. And it's suitable for indoor, outdoor, and also mobile applications, so it is a weatherproof case design. Here you can see more details, the specifications. You can also see that it's almost the same like regular WAP boards. CPU is the same, RAM and flash is almost the same. We will have different options. We'll have a WAP LTE kit that will come with the antennas and the modem built in. And we'll have also an option just board with antennas without LTE modem, because sometimes you have your own modems in stock, or you have different modems that are not required in your country as specific bands. So you can choose that. So you can see all the rest of the specifics, like wireless BGN, 2.4 GHz, 2 dBi gain for the Wi-Fi, and also from 2 till 4.5 dBi gain for LTE. As the gain is like variable because it's very high support from 700 to like 2.7 GHz. And power consumption is up to 7 watts all included. So the usage cases could be like mobile. You can mount it on the top of the, like in bus or like a car, also in some room as well, just like regular WAP. It has a specific place where you can like run the Ethernet cable here. So everything is included. So to mount it to the top. Also, you can mount it on the wall. It has all the wall mounting options. So you can screw it, all drill templates are included. So you can mount it on the maybe on your house, outside your house on your wall, or maybe outside the maybe train or some, I don't know, some other transportation vehicle. And of course, you can do it and put it on your desktop using your desktop stand. So this desktop stand also compatible with the regular WAPs. You can also use it for regular WAPs as well. So looking at the supported LTE modems, I talked to you there's a limited number which are supported in which interfaces. You can see in this wiki page which modems are currently supported in the current RotorOS releases. We're constantly working on adding new modem. So if you have LTE modems that you would like to see added, please send us support output file. We will check if it's possible to add that or not. Also, since I already answered the question, we'll have the WAP LTE kit that will have all included, so it will be fully functional board, you have board and LTE antenna, modem, and the desktop stand. We'll just need a SIM card from your carrier and ready to go. Also, when you're ordering this product from your distributors, you need to check the code, as they will have different codes, as in each country the supported bands are different, so the modems are also different, so you need to check if you're ordering the correct one. So, and also the new one, we have a LTAP Mini. It looks like this. It's also LTE product. As you can see on the picture, it has Ethernet connector, also serial connector, and two SIM cards with a lock. So the features are mostly the same as WAP LTE. Like it has mini PCIe slot for modem, two switchable SIM cards for LTE modem. So it has two SIM cards. You can put two SIM cards from same provider or from different provider. It means maybe if you are roaming with this device, you're driving with a car and you know that coverage of one provider is in one location, but in the other locations it's not. You can by GPS or by some specific other script, you can trigger and switch the SIM card to, and it will automatically switch to the other one. Or you can maybe, if you are limited by data, if you already used all the data from one SIM card, you can just switch to another SIM card and continue using that. As you can see, it has jack, PoE, and also it has micro USB option for powering. So it means you have a USB power bank, you can also carry it with you in your pocket or in a backpack and do a mobile hotspot. And the difference between the WAP LTE and is that this board supports also from 10 to 57 volts. It means it supports active PoE as well. Also, it has two-chain wireless radio and we built-in antennas in this small case. And it has a built-in GPS chip, a small antenna and also an external antenna. So this internal antenna is used only if you have an outdoor installation, but otherwise I would recommend an external antenna. And the GPS chip is independent from the LTE modem, so you can even get like this board without LTE modem and you'll still get the GPS functionalities. Also there's space for special 3 SMA connectors. Like on this board we have already 2 SMA connectors drilled and attached for LTE antennas here. And the third connector in the middle you can be used for GPS active antenna. And of course it has a serial port for configuration. Like you can do it for configuring the board like with all or old 400 series boards, or you can use this port also for monitoring other devices like some metering devices or some other equipment that has serial connection, and then send those devices or the data over the internet. So if you have any suggestion or feature requests on our LTE products, already on yesterday's Kasper's presentation we have a lot of other LTE products coming. Also we have some RB M11 M33 boards that also are designed for LTE. You can come and see at the registration table, and if you have any suggestions you can talk to us or email us to support@mikrotik.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions?
Hi, I'm a little confused on how it works. Do I just need to plug in a SIM card and I can connect to the LTE network, or do I need something else?
So when you order from your distributor this board, it will be says the WAP LTE kit. You need to look at it, not just WAP LTE, but WAP LTE kit. Kit means it will includes everything. So board, card, antennas, and also table stand. So just like this board you'll get, and there's a special place where you put your SIM card. So when you order this board, you get this board, then you go to your AT&T or T-Mobile, wait for 1 hour till they get your prepaid card, or some specific data plan for data plan, not voice plan, but data plan. And plug it in, configure your PIN, APN, and it will connect to your LTE network to your carrier, and then you can get internet using Wi-Fi or Ethernet.
Oh, it's very good.
Thank you. Any more questions? Yes?
I have two questions. One is you mentioned that GPS is external to the LTE modem or
Yes.
internal? Okay. So if I shut down the LTE, can I independently shut down the LTE modem to save power and still use the GPS output?
For example, if you have a LTE card with a GPS functionality, usually it has 3 connectors. So for LTE1, external LTE connector and GPS connector. Theoretically, depending on the modem, you can disable the LTE communication but still use the GPS by sending a specific AT commands to the modem. Or if you have this board, and this board doesn't require an LTE modem because the GPS chip is soldered on the board itself. So it means there is no need for LTE modem at all. So the GPS chip is soldered on the board itself. So you can enable that GPS function there.
Okay. My another question is, if I buy, let's say, AT&T data plan, I put into this device. Usually, AT&T data plan it recognizes what device the SIM, limited SIM device connects to. Is there any AT command I can unlock it, or how to handle that?
I'm not familiar about AT&T locking out some other devices by maybe the lock by email number, but I'm not sure. I don't know if you get like some Chinese phone and put an AT&T card, it will not work here. I don't know. That's more question to AT&T. But we have tested when we're doing this test, like this card, we have seen that it connects to AT&T and gets traffic is working. So most likely when you get this board, it will work.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? Yes?
The car connector, does that come with the kit?
You mean card?
The DC power connector.
DC, you mean if it goes with the power supply as well, or?
Does it come with the other end to plug into that? Yeah.
For this one, yes, you mean? From the card till to the...
I'm talking about the WAP LTE kit. It has a 4-pin connector.
Yes.
Does it come with the opposite connector so that I can connect my car to it?
I understand, yes. For automotive connector, yes, we'll have a small cable so you can connect to it.
Beautiful. Yes.
Thank you. Any more? Okay. Thank you, all this.